So, in today's video, we continue where we left off in the last part of the series, where in this what if Avatar Zuko, or should I say Zuko, becomes the Avatar. And we start off now in the Legend of Korra. And if you haven't watched the other parts, I encourage you to do so because probably none of this will make sense. So, let's get back into the story. So we start off in the what if where Zuko in his 40s has the sole goal of maintaining peace in the world. After some time, Zuko hears reports of a mysterious man in the metal bending police force spreading rumors about a man that could take control of people like puppets. It is only until later when the metal bending police force tells Zuko, after reading a case file on the suspect, they go to find him in the place in Canon where they have him arrested. This is when the person whose name is Yakone tells them you're making a big mistake. Now remember, in this timeline, they never encountered Hama, so they don't know what bloodbending is. Sometime later, when a court case is held against Yakone, it is discovered that Yakone pleads guilty against all charges with bloodbending. Like in canon, Sokka tells everyone about how there could be rare undiscovered types of bending and that Yakone could be one of those rare cases. So using that point, Yakone is found guilty. And then after that, he bloodbends everyone in the courtroom. Then Avatar Zuko has never felt such power preventing him from moving after some time. And especially Yakone knocking out Avatar Zuko as he then enters the Avatar state. And then he finds Yakone just as Yakone tries bloodbending him again. Zuko uses the Avatar state to resist it, and unlike in canon where Yakone has his bending taken away, Zuko decides it is too dangerous for this man to be kept alive and decides to end Yakone right there. As that is finished, Zuko meets up with the others to tell them of what he did to Yakone and how he had to end him. Now we can head to the main timeline of the Legend of Korra, or I should say in this scenario, the Legend of Zuko. 42 years later after beating Yakone, the story, unlike the main timeline, since Yakone is not here, Amon does not exist. So I would possibly see another person responsible for starting a Bender revolution, or that does not happen, but most likely some revolution would probably take place like the one in canon. But depending on if it is if the leader is a non-bender or a bender themselves, well, it would most likely be a non-bender, as they would eventually try to get the attention of Zuko, which I think Zuko would realize that in order to keep everything in balance, their non-benders must be included. So with this, I would say that there would be a lot of changes to laws and how things work regarding non-benders, and non-benders could potentially see better outcomes for themselves. Now, with that comes to the first mini arc of the Legend of Zuko, considering that the fact that a lot of the villains in the Legend of Korra build on each other from the last arc, well, except for Unalaq. Now, we begin 3 months after the events of the Non-Bender Revolution in the capital of Fire Lord Zuko's home. A dark spirit is near. However, considering that the fact that Zuko has mastered the Avatar state and is more attuned to the nature of being the Avatar than Korra, as soon as that dark spirit draws closer, Zuko senses something. He then says show yourself. Who are you and what do you want? Just then, a spirit lands on the ground. Zuko is confused on why a spirit would be in the Fire Nation, but Zuko realizes what he must do. He quickly acts fast and enters the Avatar state and realizes that he must defeat this spirit. He uses a wide variety of bending to try and take down the spirits. Considering that the fact that Zuko does not know spirit bending in this timeline, he's unable to stop the dark spirit. He then is thrown into the next building. However, when Zuko realizes that bending or just simply talking won't help, he focuses deeply and recalls a past event with a previous avatar. He then focuses and realizes that he must try and use bending to calm it down rather than attacking it. I would say that with the knowledge of other avatars and how Zuko basically mastered it at this point, I would say that he would be able to figure out how to calm down a dark spirit. Like, this is how he is able to stop the rampage as the spirit calms down. As Zuko enters the avatar state, there are nearby people who recall what happened and how the avatar dealt with it. Zuko realizes that something is wrong and why a spirit would be after him, and for so many years with no dark spirits. This means something is wrong, and Zuko is going to get to the bottom of this. He contacts his family and friends about the dark spirits, like Toph, for example, to see why spirits are just randomly attacking. Considering that the Toph lives in a swamp, and Toph can see everything that is going on in the world. Zuko is able to realize that something happened in the past with previous avatars and that he must try and unlock that memory in order to find out what is going on. He realizes this as he tries to meditate to focus deeply, but it fails considering that the fact the memory is buried, that it would take so much spiritual energy to bring it up back again. So then he realizes what he must do. His first idea is to go with Toph in the swamp and spend the next few days meditating to bring up the past avatar's memories. Once Zuko finds Toph in the swamp, Toph would welcome Zuko, saying, "Long time no see." They would also begin discussing current events, and Zuko tells Toph how he came here to meditate to find the cause of the dark spirits roaming around, which they found Zuko being attacked by the spirits. Toph would understand Zuko's goal and would welcome him to stay for a few days. Throughout these days, I would say that each time Zuko decides to meditate, the story of Wan starts to get more clear, and eventually Zuko learns about Wan and Rava. I would say this is very possible, as once again, meditation is like a key point in unlocking memories for the Avatar. Zuko tells Toph about what he discovered. He has made a shocking discovery that the Avatar has the power of a spirit named Rava, and the first Avatar was an Avatar called Wan. Zuko realizes what he must do. As harmonic convergence is near, he needs to think about the spirit world. Now, considering that the fact it was never explained in the story why the dark spirit showed up, I'm going to assume it was just a sign that harmonic convergence is near, and that even if Vaatu escapes the Tree of Time, since Rava is not there and the spirit portal is not open, there's possibly no harm to commit. However, danger lurks in the distance as Unalaq plots his plan to trick the Avatar into opening the spirit portals. In the Northern Water Tribe, Unalaq decides a journey to reach out the Avatar about the spirits. Meanwhile, Zuko leaves the swamp and tells Toph goodbye for now. As Zuko then goes back to the Fire Nation, he receives a letter about rising tensions between the Northern and Southern Water Tribe. Zuko then figures out his next plan of action, to visit the Northern Water Tribe, where he will find the solution to the problem and at the same time Unalaq is looking to find Zuko to fulfill his plans. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this part. Sorry for the delay, but I hope you guys can still enjoy the video.